everyone on the beach is absolutely devastated, and I am watching this and I'm feeling tears. Gosh, how could this be?
Hello, hello,
How could she
hello.
be? Everyone on the beach is going into their like ugly cry.
Hello, hello, hello. So happy to have you with us. So happy to be here.
And pretty excited and pumped because we are going to be continuing talking about all things Bachelor in Paradise. And, remember where we kind of left off before we just kind of finished some things that were going on in week 6. This is going to be either a 3-part or a 4-parter, but I definitely want to get into some things because we had an explosive, what can we call it? Last couple of episodes. But before we get into all of that, let me quickly kind of catch you up from where we left off. So I was talking about how Shanae and had a double date with Joey, the twins Joey and Justin, and also Florence from um, Bachelor in Paradise, Australia. So after that, oh, and I'm sorry. Let me circle back a little bit. Thanks to everyone who listens, watches, and subscribes, and also thank you to new subscribers. Thank you to those who make comments, and thank you to those who are contributing to the success of my channel. So, um, again, I think now, from then, from just getting all those formalities out, we can continue on with the discussion of Bachelor in Paradise. And also, even before that, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoyed and had lots of enjoyable moments with your family and all of that good stuff. So now that we've gotten all of those formalities out of the way, let's talk about Bachelor in Paradise and continue from um, week. Wow, can you imagine? It was only nine weeks. Sometimes they usually end with a nice round number, but 9 is good. 9 is a good number. So anyway, when Hayden came to the beach, he said, he kind of disclosed to everyone that he had some rough patches on his season with Gabby and Rachel, and of who were the Bachelorettes. And he expresses that he did say Gabby was a little rough around the edges, and so that didn't really go over so well. He did go ahead and have a date with Kate. He pulled her aside, but then Kate pulled an Eliza on Logan and said, in her own way, she did it in her own way, saying that she felt that he did not fight for her and she really wanted him to fight for her and all of this good stuff. So um, that was something that didn't really go well. Also, there was another fight again, um, but before we get to that, who this fight was between, Genevieve really hoped that Eliza would kind of come to her senses and know that Rodney was the right person for her. So that was something that she was hoping, and that she realized Justin was just a shiny new object. This actually did happen because Eliza did choose Rodney, but we see soon enough that she
Start fighting
regrets
about
it.
itching is low
So,
level pain.
so just as a reminder, that's Aaron, and Genevieve is. Let's see. Oh, does she disappear off of this? Oh, I guess they edited it. But anyway, you remember how Genevieve looks. I don't know why she's not there. Okay, anywho. Um, this was a fight with Aaron, and he basically feels that itching is low level pain. Um, they get in a fight about this, boom, she goes, or at least tries to leave. He has to kind of talk her off the ledge again by saying, hey, let's go ahead and talk about it. I do think that, you know, our emotions are all over the place, but we can get through this sort of thing. And even though they have the miscommunication, they are able to work through it. But let's look it up. Is itching low level pain? Question mark. Let's see what comes up here. Once thought to be a low level form of pain, itch is instead a distinct sensation which a dedicated neural circuit linking cells in the periphery of the body to the brain, a study in mice suggests. Okay, so once thought to be low-level form of pain, itch is instead a distinct sensation with a dedicated neural circuit linking cells in the periphery of the body to the brain, a study in mice suggests. So there we have it, folks. You see it here first. It was once thought of to be that, but it is not. That's the first thing that pops up in the search. Itch, in fact, was considered a weakened form of pain. Modern molecular, genetic, and anatomical studies now indicate, okay, so we see that they now indicate this is a new finding. This is no longer theoretical. It says in new studies now indicate that itch usually follows its own distinct course. Okay, so this is what a professor, a Harvard professor, is talking about. So it doesn't mean that it's not painful for some people. It's just following its own course. Maybe that's not necessarily the course that things that are painful follow, but I don't think this needed to be an argument. Like, I really just don't think it needed to be something that was going to cause Genevieve to walk out. We all have disagreements. This could have been something that they have their phones with them, I noticed. It's something that they could have looked into right on the spot and discussed this. It could have been something that elevated their thoughts. It didn't have to be an argument. So regardless, it was an argument, and Genevieve did decide to stay after their disagreement. So moving on, there was that decision that was made with Eliza, and this is week 7. This week was decisions looming regarding who Eliza will choose, Kate and Logan, slash Hayden. Logan kind of regrets not telling Kate, hey, I want you to stay. I think if he did that, she would have felt better about how things went down, but he didn't. And so that's where the problems kind of take place with them. So not only did Kate kind of push him when she got back off of that date because she felt like the date was kind of lackluster and she felt like she didn't really hit it off with Hayden. So when she gets back from the date, she kind of pushes Logan to revealing his feelings. He's like, okay, I do like you, and I don't want you to be with anyone else. Do you agree? And she agrees, but that was only after she kind of cajoled her way into his feeling box and made him express to her how he felt. But to me, it was kind of weird because she did not really feel on the same page. It's like she wanted him to admit that she was that he was basically having those feelings before falling in love with someone. But then at the same time, she did not reciprocate. So I kind of felt like this was all ego driven. This was not about her wanting to hear from him because she was feeling the same way. It was about her wanting to hear from him how he was feeling so that she could say, ah, I got this one too. Because if you remember, she was with Jacob. She was trying to fill out who would be good for her on the beach and maybe even after, but it didn't work out. Then on top of that, they had like this whole moment on the beach, something she felt was out of the notebook and all of that stuff, but there were still some questions regarding that. Right after he said he wanted to be her to be his, and she agreed, and she did. You can tell she wasn't sure. She starts talking to the woman about how she doesn't want to carry a man. She doesn't want to feel this any sort of pent up resentment. She feels she wants to be taken care of and she deserves to be, but she doesn't want to fool herself and think that she does not when she truly wants to be taken care of and all of those things. So uh, she talks quite a bit to the lady. She wants someone who has that provider energy, and she is on the fence as to whether or not that is Logan. Does Logan have that provider energy, or does he not have that provider energy? She's tired of providing for herself. She's built herself up in her life to be in a certain place, and she doesn't want to pretend that she doesn't deserve this. She's taking care of herself. Then she starts talking about Hayden and how he has 6 figures to just lying around to take care of his dog who was found to be sick. And she likes that. She likes money. She wants this sort of person who can do that. Maybe he has 6 figures lying around so she can be taken well care of. Who knows? So I think this is sort of the things that she's alluding to in her conversation with the woman. She likes the fact that he has a mortgage and a plan, and she likes the fact that he rents luxury rental spaces in Florida, so he has a steady means of income. Meanwhile, she thinks about Logan, on the other hand. Boop, boop. Logan has roommates. Logan drives some orange vehicle. Logan is maybe a dog walker. And so she starts comparing the two and she's thinking to herself, can I enjoy a life with Logan? Is my life with Logan going to be like my life with someone like Hayden? Do I even like Hayden? Maybe I can get to like Hayden because maybe my life with Hayden will be better with Logan. So she's having these conversations. She even has a conversation with Shanae. And this is when I started, just to stop for a second, I think all of the questions she's asking herself are valid questions because she should be honest with herself. And if she does want someone who does have that sort of is at a certain level, it's not to say that Logan won't get to the level that she's looking for or can't get there in a very short period of time. The sort of conversations maybe she should been having with them rather than just judging them like, oh, he's taking care of this dog, he has the money. Maybe he doesn't want to spend that money on you. Maybe he wants to spend that money on the animal, but not on you. Let's think about these things. So I'm not saying her thoughts aren't valid, but I am saying that these are questions she needed to ask Hayden and needed to ask Logan rather than assume, oh, he's a whatever he was and his mentality is just to be that way forever. Maybe his mentality is to take care of his woman. Maybe having someone like her in his life would maybe take him to that next level. But at the same time, on the other hand, she if she really wants all those things now, maybe she shouldn't pick someone like Logan to date. Maybe she needs to date someone who is a little bit more well established. So she starts talking to everyone about this. Then I think this is when she starts sounding a little bit more fake and she starts talking to everyone, and she basically has the same thing to say to everyone. She starts talking to Shanae and is like, I have this luxury gym membership and I can he even afford this? I mean, I didn't she didn't say luxury gym membership, but you could just put in there said membership at a gym that's a little bit more costly than say other gyms, and that's what she names, and she's like, "Hey, I have this gym membership. Can he even afford that?" And oh my gosh, like I'm sorry. I'm just trying to sound like her when she talks. Like, I have this level membership. Does he have that? Can he afford that? And that sort of thing. And I just felt like at that point, it just kind of got a little fake because then to everyone, she's like, my sister in Christ. I'm 33. And, so basically, she just wants a breadwinner. And that's fine. I think she should have that if that's what she wants. I just think that maybe she should, if she knows that this is the type of guy that's available on the beach, then she has to ask herself, am I here just to have fun here and not make any sort of serious plans and serious commitment? I mean, I hope I can find someone, but hey, maybe I'll just enjoy my time on the beach. But don't drag him down behind his back, but then in front of his face, you're like, oh, you're great. And then when he finally does confront her about his feelings of her being critical and always feeling like he's disappointing her and all these things, she could just maybe, I mean, that sort of thing is hard to hear. I will side with her. That sort of thing is hard to hear. You don't want someone saying, hey, you're critical. Hey, you're this. Hey, you're that. You don't want to hear those things. But if she really did have a feeling, a good feeling with Logan, maybe she can take that criticism just a little bit constructively and say, well, he doesn't see this, but I am talking behind his back saying he doesn't make this much and I'm going to potentially build up resentment and all this and all this, that. But she doesn't. She doesn't keep it real with herself. That's what it is. She didn't keep it real with herself. And perhaps, just perhaps, if she kept it real with herself, she could have kept it real with him. And she could have said, hey, Logan, this is how I'm feeling. Prove me wrong. And had these conversations with him prior to giving him the rose on the spot. Maybe she could have said, hey, I don't want to repeat myself, but what I just said, and then see what he says. If he didn't give her the answers that she wanted, then I understand her not giving him the rose and seeing if perhaps she and Hayden could have had a better time. But she didn't do it that way. So she decides to send Hayden home. She sends him home, and because she says she wakes up in the morning and she decides that what matters is who she wants to wake up with in the morning. And she wants to wake up with someone like Logan. So she says that they have a long way to go and she needs more from him, is what she says. So she actually tells him that as she's giving him the rose. And she makes him answer, and he's like, yeah. And after that, he was very, very confused. What does this mean? What does she mean there's more? And all of these things. So that to me, it was a little confusing to him about what she meant because you thought they were just going to ride off in the sunset. You thought that was the end. You thought they had this happy conversation and that was it. But it wasn't. So, after that, we see Michael and Danielle. They go on a date. But it's really funny because Wells keeps popping up. He keeps popping up here. He keeps popping up there. It's almost like you start to think is he's gonna pop up in their bedroom if like he's just gonna keep popping up, So it was one of those things. They were like, we really just want to spend some time together. But I think he was happy for them. I think more so for Danielle as well, is because he and Danielle, according to what he said on the show, they were friends, and that's why he brought her there. He really cares about her as a friend and wants her to be happy, and he thinks she can have that with Michael. And they seem to really hit it off. They go on horseback riding. They have, um, you know, a nice date, basically. So moving on, after the rose ceremony, Eliza just felt very, very upset. She's questioning everything um, that she had with Justin versus what she has with Rodney. And that's only because she gave Rodney the rose. She felt that he should have it, and she does give it to him. And so I was happy that that's what happened because I really did feel that Rodney was best for her. I felt like this is the person she needs to give her rose to. This is the person who really likes her and would be there to make her happy. I think she felt that way in the beginning, but I think she kind of got in her head about how he didn't tell her not to go on this date. And I think that if he was explicit and said, don't go, I think she wanted this level of, you know, I don't, I'm trying to, I want to be delicate here because there is a way to express this, but he really just wanted to be a gentleman about it and he wanted her to explore her options because they did not get to that place where they were in a committed relationship. And I think on some levels you can definitely respect that. I just think she was looking for more of a semi-possessive response. And the reason why I say that is because of course she probably doesn't want a possessive guy. She's probably not going to say, "No, I don't want a guy who's going to be like, but she wants a guy basically to claim her." And I think any woman, and so maybe semi-possessive is not the right term, but I'm trying to find the right term, and I think claiming her is the right term. She wanted someone to be like, this is my woman and you're my woman and I want to be with you and da 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 da. But she didn't get that from Rodney. Rodney was more like, look, we're here on this show, explore your options and see how it goes. But I guess she felt she and Rodney were further along in their relationship where he had the comfort level to be able to do that in a respectful way and tell her she was who he wanted and move on happily ever after, skipping down the beach. But that's not what happened. So she actually breaks these feelings to Rodney and she leaves the beach. I repeat, she leaves the beach. She goes and decides to go ahead and, you know, basically follow after Justin in his hometown of, I guess, Baltimore, Maryland. And you see all the row houses and things like this. And she goes to his hometown. But before we go to that next week when she's knocking on his door, which is week 8, everyone on the beach is absolutely devastated. And I am watching this and I'm feeling tears. I am like weeping. I'm like, oh my gosh, how could this be? How could she leave Rodney? Like everyone on the beach is going into their like ugly cry. And everyone is just devastated because everyone loves Rodney and everyone wanted him to be happy. And it seemed like well, Lace was very happy when they were together because she kind of staked claim and was like, hey, this is a guy for me. But okay, and then also, yeah, Eliza was also very happy. But then when Justin came along and gave her all of that attention, the girl got confused. She did. She got confused, but we can say at least she went after what she wanted because we don't want it to be a question where she is literally thinking, what if, what if, what if? What if I didn't go back to the beach? I mean, leave the beach and go to see Justin? What if I stayed with Rodney and I was feeling this discomfort? And sometimes you wonder, well, maybe she could have just went ahead and decided to kind of wait it out, give it a couple of days, see if her feelings change. Maybe she didn't have a couple of days because, things move very fast on the beach. But maybe she could have given it one day. Maybe that within that one day, she would have been able to see if something changed. Um, but that didn't happen. So basically, after she goes to Baltimore, Maryland, we don't know what to expect. We're like getting excited. We're like, okay, maybe this is gonna work out. Maybe he'll be happy to see her. So she goes and knocks on his door. She's wearing like this white top. It's not really like a crop top, but it's like a corset top with like the bones and shows off your waist and your shoulders. And she's wearing like these kind of baggy, light looking colored jeans. I'm kind of, it's kind of reminding me of like, don't go chasing waterfalls. Um, but she looked nice.